street food.
Happy holidays, street foodies. But Christian, it's not Christmas. You're right. There's no Christmas in China. We're celebrating Dragon Boat Festival. One of the awesome things about living abroad is that we get to experience an entirely new conglomerate of holidays. So, sure, I have to work on Memorial Day, but I don't have to work during Dragon Boat Festival. And in China, we celebrate with Zongzi. Glutinous rice dumplings.
Sticky rice!
I invited my friend Sunshine to teach me how to make zongzi. While we went shopping for materials, she told me the history behind Dragon Boat Festival.
We will celebrate it because of a very famous Asian China poet called Chuan. And the country is in warring states, maybe that means thousands of years ago. Chuan is the minister of the country and he loves the country very much.
He had some ideas about how to reform the country, but the other bureaucrats didn't like him. So they badmouthed him to the emperor and got him banished from the country.
Concerning over the corruption of the government and also feeling powerless to change the situation, he drowned himself into a river.
It's like a Chinese Virginia Woolf. Boom! Literature reference!
But people all love Chuan very much, so they joined some rice balls to protect Chuan's body from being eaten by dragon or monsters in the river.
Go away, dragons! Don't eat the rider, eat the rice balls! Sounds kind of like a campaign slogan.
Not to remember Chuan, but in these days we have dragon boat race and also we will wrap Zongzi.
To prepare zongzi, you need 3 essential ingredients. Number 1, leaves. In Xi'an, we use bamboo leaves. They might use lotus or reed leaves in a town near the river. 2, glutinous rice.
Sticky rice!
3, some kind of string to tie them up. You have to soak the leaves until they become tender. The saleswoman told us we could use cold water. This was a lie. You definitely need to use hot water, and you have to soak them for about an hour. You need to clean the leaves very well with a brush, and you also need to rinse the glutinous rice. Sticky rice! When the leaves are ready, you take 1, 2, or 3 of them, and you curl them into a kind of funnel, and you fill that with rice. You can fill them with meat too, or in Xi'an they like to use red dates or sweet red bean paste. And you fold the leaves around and you tie them off. You gotta be sure to seal them very well, especially along the seams and the corners. We added some bell peppers, some ground beef, and some beans to a few of our zongzi, but most of ours are just straight up plain rice dumplings. Then you boil them for 30 minutes, and you let them sit for 30 minutes. You boil them for another 30 minutes, and you let them sit for another 30 minutes. It's kind of labor intensive. Of course, not every family makes zongzi themselves. During Dragon Boat Festival, stores are packed with aisles and aisles of pre-made zongzi, much like this one. It's very common to receive these types of zongzi as gifts. Look at me, I'm a dragon boat! And of course, they sell them on the street. These that I got from Hojia were stuffed with stewed pork. When is Dragon Boat Festival? Great question. I have no idea. It's based on the lunar calendar, which who knows how in the heck that thing works. I asked my friends when Dragon Boat Festival would be, and they said, oh, it's usually in May, but this year, by the lunar calendar, we have 2 Aprils. Lunar nonsense. It's usually the 5th week of the 5th month of the lunar calendar, so take that and good luck. After going through their second boil, our zongzi had some trouble. The string we bought had expanded during the boil, so several of our zongzi burst. It was like zongzi soup. You'll need to buy the right kind of string. Actually, my dumplings were pretty ugly because I used so much string. I remember my 8th grade art teacher using my project as an example of an overuse of adhesive. But when Sunshine's dumplings ruptured, mine stayed cinched. So in your face, Mrs. Coleman. If you're still alive. Most of our zongzi turned out fine. You can dip them in honey if you want. Some people like theirs sweeter. I like them plain. The flavor of the leaves really seeps through into the rice. It tastes kind of like artichoke. Zongzi, it's almost like a Chinese tamale, except instead of corn husks, it's bamboo leaves, and instead of cornmeal, it's rice, and instead of spicy pork, it's nothing like a Chinese tamale at all. But it is a holiday treat. Holler back if you've tried zongzi or anything in its respective ballpark. Until next week, eat it on the street, watch out for the parasites.